Good evening. I too have been given a distinct honor this evening, and that is to introduce a woman who serves our community, exceeding expectations and truly giving of herself in a compassionate and committed manner. In my own work, I know one has most potential to heal and live optimally when the power within them is given the opportunity to express itself and move out. In essence, we heal from the inside out. In the case of Captain Kelly Frazier, that which lies inside of her comes out in a way that allows this city to heal and function optimally. Having met with her personally and speaking with some who know her well, she possesses a strong tactical background. It is balanced with a phenomenal ability to build consensus within her team and the community. Under her leadership, the bar has been raised. In addition to her duties here in West Hollywood, she is currently attaining her master's in executive leadership at USC, serves on a board at the Center for Hope and Healing in Los Angeles, and she came from Emergency Operations Bureau, known as EOB. And in the words of a West Hollywood Public Safety Division member, it's a real coup we got her here since she came from EOB. She should be hanging off the back of a helicopter somewhere. I thank her for her service, and it is my privilege to introduce Captain Kelly Frazier.
Great job. All right, we're going to do a couple of shots out here. Thank you. Big smile. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, to be last, you're always nervous because people are ready to leave. They really want to hear you say something very inspiring. So I began really by saying thank you to the Women's Advisory Board for this honor. As you can imagine, we're all thrilled, all of us, obviously, by what we said today. To the Chamber for your support, to the City of West Hollywood as a whole. You know, I have this whole thing written up, and it never happens when I get up in front of people. I can't even begin to start. I sat here and listened, as we all did, about amazing women and what they do and how they do it, and they do it with such passion, and they do it with such commitment. And for me to be a part of this group, I'm truly, truly honored. So I really do want to just say a few things as far as this. What I did right is my family, my friends, affectionately known as Kelly's Posse, if you're here. My son Brandon is back there, the handsome one. I know he's going to be mad at me. My life partner is in Kauai. She couldn't be here. She's at a family wedding, enjoying it there. She could be here or there. Where would you want to be? So I gave her a night off. And then the rest of my personnel from this West Hollywood Sheriffs, they're here with me celebrating. You heard about me achieving a master's in leadership, and it's kind of an oxymoron when you think about it. How do you master leadership? How does one really master leadership? You don't. You never do. It's a continuous evolution. It's something that you have to strive for, to find it in yourself, to do better, to be better, to better those around you ultimately, and to really, you know, dig down and just making change. And that's really why I've done that, is to achieve that. And one of my very dearest friends is here as well. He went through the same program, and Phil Hansen, he's here in the audience. He's one of my dearest friends. After 36 years on our department, he's retiring this week. 36 years. And really, he could be anywhere this week, closing out his 36 years, but he's here supporting me, so thank you, Phil. And then, you know, again, I have some other stuff, but I really want to talk about these wonderful women here. It came to me that they're servants. They're servants of leaders. They're public servants. They're just servant leadership. There are all these things, and there's this poem that talks about paradoxes of servant leaders, and I want to share that with you because I think it says it all. It's a poem by Brewer, and it says it, so bear with me. This is what I hope we all are. Strong enough to be weak, successful enough to fail, busy enough to make time, wise enough to say I don't know, serious enough to laugh, rich enough to be poor, right enough to say I'm wrong, compassionate enough to discipline, mature enough to be childlike, which was my favorite, important enough to be last, planned enough to be spontaneous, controlled enough to be flexible, free enough to endure captivity, knowledgeable enough to ask questions, loving enough to be angry, great enough to be anonymous, responsible enough to play, assured enough to be rejected, victorious enough to lose, industrious enough to relax, and then lastly is leading enough to serve. And I think this award is really about that, is that we are all servants, and I am honored again to share this award with those that are sitting in the front row, but more importantly, I'm honored to receive this award for all that I work around, those people that I work in and day out with, the station, within the community, my family. This is important for them, and I want to thank you all for that.
Thank you. Before people run away, I have a couple of closing remarks. First, once again, I can't imagine that we will find the most remarkable women next year, but I know we will, because they will build on what you have taught us today. And each one of us is challenged to make sure that in our daily life we always work to make that difference, because each of you does in the most remarkable ways. So let's please give our award winners another round of applause. I'm going to ask them when we are done to please stay here so we can get one picture of all of you. I want to once again thank Jamie for opening up this incredible showroom. I want to thank the Women's Advisory Board for selecting the most remarkable women. Let's give you all a hand. Make you all remarkable. The Chamber of Commerce for co-hosting, and my council colleagues for being here, always supporting the work of our Women's Advisory Board and making sure that women do have a voice in West Hollywood. Let's give them a hand as well. That really tries to and works towards encouraging leadership. And the Women's Advisory Board and the city and our Women's Leadership Conference Committee are putting together a wonderful Women's Leadership Conference. As we said at the beginning, there are flyers around. It starts on April 13th. Friday the 13th, which will be a very lucky day. Thank you. Vanna White is holding those in the back there, John Heilman. And it starts on Friday night with a special presentation of a documentary called Misrepresentation, which talks about how women are portrayed in the media. So that should be interesting. And then the next day we will have our conference, which will take place at here at the park, across the street in the park at the library, and I hope that you all will come, and I hope you will take the flyers as well and share them with other women that you know. We do let men come as well, because we love when they support us. But it's a great event, and I certainly hope to see you all there. And again, once again, thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next year when we do this for the 18th year. Thank you so much.